I want to do a little education today. I'm going to do one or two videos, maybe three. What I want to talk about right now is money, something that I like to talk about, something that's always kind of fascinated me. And we're going to start with the cost of living increase, and this is important. You go to work every day, you work from 8 to faint, and you make your dollar, okay? And the dollar goes up and down in value. But in addition to that, you have what's called the cost of living increase. The cost of living increase right now, you might be aware of the cost of living increase because if you are 65 or older, that is what the Social Security office uses to adjust your Social Security for the increased cost of things around you. Gas, housing, food, things of that nature. Right now the cost of living increase is 0.3% or 3%. They always put that point in there, 3%. Why does the cost of living increase matter to you? You put your money in your bank, and your current interest rate on your savings account is less than 1%. What does that mean? That means you're losing money. That means putting money in the bank is a stupid thing to do. It doesn't make you any money. It doesn't, in fact, it loses you money because the value of the dollar and the cost of living goes down, and your money's not growing at a rate to keep up with that. So just putting that money in the bank is just losing you money. It's not making you anything. I know someone who had $100,000 in their checking, and the grand amount that they made for $100,000 was $12 a month. That was at a local credit union. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a Belco. That was at Belco. He had his money in Belco, and the money he made on his money at Belco for 100 grand was $12 a month. I think we can all agree that that was probably the stupidest thing that person had ever done in their life. You can make more than $12 a month on 100 grand in 1,000 different ways. That ain't the one. Okay? So, cost of living increase, 3%. Current savings rate, less than 1%. Current CD. What is a CD? A CD is called a certificate of deposit. It is a time-based investment, meaning that if you withdraw it before that time limit is up, there are penalties, and you don't want to do that. CDs in 1980 were around, and I'll show you a graph on this, 12% for a 5-year, 10% for a 6-month, 11% for a 1 year. Okay? Now they are the same as savings. They're horrid, less than a percent. The stupidest investment in the world. If you buy a CD, you're dumber than a dog. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. It's your money. You do with it what you want. Stupid. Okay? Again, something that doesn't even keep up with the cost of living. Again, something that's losing you money, not making you money. Okay? So, let's look at some of these things. Before we do that, I want to talk about fractal reserve bankings. I hate banks. You're about to know why, and you're going to hate them too. Fractal reserve banking is a concept that is in the majority of the world, and what it means is this. You ever wonder, you've seen these commercials, if you put $50 in your bank account, in your savings, or $100 in your savings, we'll give you $50 just for joining our bank. Yay. How do they do that? It's simple. I'm going to use numbers that vary. Okay, so I'm just going to throw numbers out there, but the numbers I'm going to give you are very solid. In fact, if anything, they're higher than what I'm going to tell you. You get $100 into a bank. For every dollar you put in, they can now lend $20. So you put $100 in a bank, they can lend $2 grand. They can invest $2 grand. They can do whatever they want with the $2 grand. But now you gave them $100, now they've got $2,000. How do they make money? How are they supposed to make money? Well, they're supposed to make money by making that money go to work. And they're supposed to be very good at it because they're very big. And so they have all of these options that they use, from stock markets to CDs to car loans, house loans, okay? So let's take your home loan. Let's take your car loan. If you have a credit rating of about 540, your car loan is probably costing you in the range of 12 to 21% interest per annum per year. If you have a 700 credit score, maybe that interest rate is as low as 3%, as high as 7%. Okay, rough numbers, it could vary. But you're going to take whatever you're currently paying and you're going to say, oh, he's right. Take credit cards. Borrow money from a credit card, which is a bank. You'll see it on the credit card. It says Visa, but it'll also have the bank that you're borrowing the money from. 19%? 23%? Higher? Lower? It's a lot. How come they're making more money than you are on your money? Ever wonder that? But it gets worse. That's how they're supposed to make their money. That's not really true, because they're making a lot of their money on the fees they're charging people. And what's the most sickening thing about this is, what a bank is doing is they're taking from the poor and giving to the rich. How can I make that statement? That's asinine. It's simple. Most of their fees are made on overdraft fees. Who gets overdraft fees? People that don't have money. They're taking from the poor and they're giving to the rich. They've bastardized the way they're supposed to make money and turn into this. And it gets worse, because we're talking about 1980, 1950s. Banking, really, savings accounts started in about the 1800s, 1850, 1890s, something like that. But in that period of time, between 1880 to 2017, we have some things that have happened. We call it technology. What that means is, it used to take people to do these things, to calculate the interest. It used to take people to move the money around, to physically, on a computer, or before that on a piece of paper, move your money from point A to point B. Now it happens instantly. That's a better snap. Instantly. I'll give you an example. I bank with Wells Fargo. I hate Wells Fargo because I hate banks. Wells Fargo is no better or no worse than any other bank. If today I overdraft my account, I'm set up to where it goes into my savings account and it pulls the money from my savings account to cover whatever it was that I overdrafted. There are two fees that happen in this situation. Fee number one happens every time regardless of anything. $12. Wells Fargo charges me $12 for something a computer does like that. $12. Nobody did anything. It was automatic. It was computer that did it. Okay? And you can argue, well, the software cost money to make, to develop. It didn't cost that much, I promise you. The second thing they would charge me is, let's say that I didn't have enough money in my savings to cover the overdraft. Let's say I had $10 in my savings, I wrote a check, or I used my ATM card for whatever reason, however it happened, for $30, and so now I'm still negative 20. Now they're going to charge me another $30 plus fee. I don't have any money, and these guys just charged me over $40. More in the realm of $50. $50. And nobody in their entire organization, regardless of whether it's Chase, Wells Fargo, Belco, nobody did anything to justify that. Worst case scenario, consider it a loan. I took out $30, I didn't have $30, automatically it's converted to a loan at a 22% interest rate. That should be like less. A lot less. So let's look at some stuff. Alrighty. The first thing I want to show you is the United States dollar over the last year. That's what your dollar is looking like. It doesn't stay stagnant. A dollar is not a dollar. A dollar is not based on gold. That is long, long gone away. It's not really based on anything. And it goes up and down based on our national debt, I think, but I'm not this isn't my gig, so I don't know. I don't know why it goes up and down. I just know that it does. All right? A certificate of deposit, let's see, where did I put that? Is that? Nope. A certificate of deposit, well, actually, before I get a certificate of deposit, makes you sick, doesn't it? ATM and overdraft fees top $6 billion at the big three banks. Big banks make 8% of their profits last year from overdraft fees. So, where is it? I had a thing that had interest rates, but basically, just believe me when I tell you, you can go in and research it yourself. Interest rates were up in the 1980s much higher than they are now. So, recap, and then I'm going to close this video down, and I'm going to go into how you can make more than 3%. And I'm going to talk about risk and things like that. But cost of living, 3%. Your bank is paying you less than 1%. You're paying your bank on every loan you have much, much more than that. Be it your home loan, your car loan, a signature loan, a credit card. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're getting money from, I promise you, you're paying more than you're getting paid, whether you're buying a CD or whether you're putting it in savings. The stock market goes up and down just like your dollar. Is that risky? Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what I really want you to get right now is you are most likely not utilizing your money efficiently. You're losing money. And I don't care where you have it. If it's a bank or a CD, you're losing money. We're going to talk about where you can put your money that makes you money. One of those options would probably be the stock market. Not something I like. I think it's a low return, generally speaking, because of the way that it's done, and there's different types of accounts. We'll talk about that. Well, let me go ahead and post this, and I will go ahead and make another video on how you should be using your money.